Hey guys, what's up? Ash the Fall here, coming to you a No Man's Sky review. Now, if you've been living under a rock, this is the indie game that has been sort of the, I guess, butt of all jokes recently, as well as the talk. Like, there's been a lot of, I guess, controversy between what developer Sean Murray showed back when this game was announced to what was actually given to us. This is a full price indie game, so $60 US, or if you live in Canada, $80 plus the tax. You know, if you're not, if you decide to buy it physically, so there's that. So right off the bat, I just started the game up, and as you can see, I am stuck under a planet. This game is a myriad of glitches and technical issues. Now, that's not to say that it's bad. Okay, it's bad, but when you got a team of 15 people, I believe Hello Games is just 15 developers, it's hard to really expect much from 15 people. But when your indie game costs a full, $60, $80, or God knows what it is in the US, there's a level of expectation that should go with these games. Like, you would never really see this kind of shit being pulled in a AAA game. Not to say that it doesn't happen in AAA games, but the fact that you're paying such a high price for these games, and look at this. Like, this isn't me just nitpicking or something. I literally just booted up the game for this review. I figured I'd get some footage of me going from planets to planets and whatnot, being in space, but no, the game has literally started me under the planet. Gosh, as aforementioned, there's been a lot of glitches with the game, and according to the developers of the game, Sean Murray, there's supposed to be several patches to come out that fix this kind of stuff. But when you're charging full price for a game, and you've been working on a game for 5 years, these kind of glitches shouldn't exist, to be honest. Like, if this game was like maybe $20 or $30, myself and everyone else who has a problem in this game, we could be definitely more lenient towards it. But again, this is a full priced indie game, so to be getting this kind of issues with the game, it's kind of a giant fuck you, on top of the glitches. From when the game was announced to what we actually got, there's been noticeable differences between what was shown at E3 and over the development of this game to what we actually got. The whole play of the game, everything is just different. And I understand, again, when you're a small developer, there's not much you can really do. But at the same time, don't promise things that you really can't deliver. Apparently my ship is over there, but I am stuck under this planet. This is a really, really bad glitch, or whatever you want to call it. As aforementioned, again, it's supposed to be a patch that solves this. So if you're like me and you have this glitch where you just cannot get out from under the planet, and actually walk around, then have no fear, I guess, because they're gonna patch it. But again, this is something that shouldn't be in the game to begin with. Moving on, this game was reportedly supposed to have free DLC, but 2 weeks ago, from when I'm recording this video, Sean Murray said, you know what, we might not be able to do the free DLC after all. It might be paid for, and a lot of people have gripe with that. Like, again, this is a full price indie game that isn't as, like, it didn't live up to the expectations of a lot of people. Now, speaking of expectations, like, I'm jumping all over the place, but speaking of expectations, I didn't have any expectations going into this game. For me, this game was the kind of game where I could just throw on late at night and, put my headphones on, play some music, and just explore. By no means this isn't a game where there's like a tight storyline that you gotta pay attention to. There aren't cutscenes or anything that you gotta watch, or some convoluted plot you gotta follow. No, like, the goal of this game is getting to the center of the universe, there is a story here, but it's not in your face. Like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You know, you gotta go talk to this character, you gotta go to this town, or in this case, planet, and speak to this character. There's none of that. I haven't gotten in as much hours as other players might have. Like, I've seen some reviews where people are like, oh, I'm 15 hours in, I'm 20 hours in, or I'm 50, 60 hours in. I haven't touched anywhere near that. I'm probably like 10 hours in myself. And, you know, from the 10 hours, the first few hours are good, you know? It's cool to see all these procedurally generated planets and environments, and, you know, not every planet has water or like underwater like facilities or whatever. Like, it's all very cool to see, but that's pretty much the only positive thing I can say about the game so far. I mean, really and truly, this game isn't what anyone would thought it would be, you know. And I'm at that point right now where even though I didn't go into this game any expectations, I can still see the faults. You know, people are saying this is supposed to be a survival game. How is it a survival game when literally all the elements you need to survive are found on each and every planet you visit? You're always going to find some source of carbon to keep your life support, and yeah, I think carbon is just for your life support. You're always going to find carbon or plutonium or something to keep your life support, you know, completely stacked. Like, there's hardly a time where I think to myself, shit, I'm in trouble. Like, I can't find this, I am screwed. Thamium, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but you use this to fuel your starship, your pulse engine, and these elements, they're not rare to come across. Any planet you come across, within the first 5 minutes of landing on a new planet, you're bound to find elements, these things to repair your starship. You know, I never really feel like I'm in dire need of a certain element because it's always there, you know. So where, really and truly, where's the survival aspect come into this game when everything I need is readily available in some cave, or, you know, like, it's readily available anywhere I go, is what I'm trying to say. Like, where's the survival aspect? The creatures in this game, you know, they're some pretty cool things to look at, you know, considering they're also procedurally generated. But it comes down to the fact that they all act the same, you know. Whether they're flying, whether they're running around or whatever, they all act the same. They don't really have anything that distinguishes them, like anything along the lines of different behaviors or different ways that they interact with the player, you know. You walk up to them and they try to run away, unless they're like a predator, in which case they'll run around in like a circle or some shit and then hit you and then do it all over again. You can also, like, your mining gun has a cooldown, but it's really easy to cheese, so it's kind of like, why is it even there? Oh boy, honestly, this game isn't anything to really write home about in terms of gameplay, or like, yeah, just in terms of gameplay, it's not anything to write home about, but the idea behind it, you know, 18 quintillion planets, I didn't even know that was possible inside a game, you know. But if there's 18 quintillion planets and they're all roughly the same, like, not the same as like as they look, but as their function, like, you go to any planet and, oh, there's acid dust, or, oh, it's extremely hot, or it's extremely cold. These different factors on a planet don't really change the gameplay. It just changes how you gotta, you know, manage your resources. Like, oh, if it's cold, let me put on this you know, thermal protection so that I don't freeze to death as quickly as I would. But even then, it all comes back down to, how is this a survival game? Like, yeah, that survival aspect of, yeah, you're gonna land on a hot or cold planet, and you're gonna need to equip some sort of gear to your exosuit so that, you know, you can actually walk around and explore. But if all the elements that I need are readily available on said planet, there's no survival, really. It's just, there's no consequence for it, you know? Like, oh, I'm gonna land on this cold planet, I gotta make sure I have enough of, let's say, zinc to fuel the thermal protection gear. I gotta make sure I have zinc, you know, before I go any further. But it doesn't matter, because as soon as I, you know, land and walk 2 feet, oh, there's zinc, you know? It's kind of like that Family Guy episode where they had Al Gore. Was it Al? No. Oh, I forgot who it was, but they had that guy, and the guy's like, ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. That's exactly what this game is like. You're always gonna find what you need. Ooh, zinc. Ooh, carbon. Ooh, plutonium. Plutonium. You know, it's never a do or die situation. It's never a, okay, if I go this far away from my spaceship, do I have enough to make it back to my spaceship? You know what I'm saying? There's none of that. So as far as survival goes, I don't really think calling No Man's Sky a survival game is doing it justice. I really think it's just a game for exploration. It's a chill game where you can just throw on and just explore. You know, playing this game, if you go into No Man's Sky with zero expectations for it, you can have a decent time. I've been having a decent time with it up until this stupid ass glitch where I'm stuck under the planet. But you can go into this game and go, you know what? Yeah, I can throw this on and just get lost in it. You can do anything else. Like you can put on an episode of your favorite show and watch it in the background while you're playing this game. You can listen to music like I do while I'm playing this game. Like the music in the game is great, but I find myself being more immersed in it as I listen to my own kind of music, as I listen to like whatever I want to listen to and just play the game. As far as fighting and like the space fights and whatnot, they're pretty simplistic, you know? Like, don't go into this expecting any kind of first-person shooter mechanics like Destiny or Halo 5 or even Call like no, okay? Like, it's very, very simple, very basic stuff in this game. It's nothing really to, you know, write home about, as I've said earlier. As far as your ship and certain mechanics, it's kind of weird that you can't crash your ship into anything, or if you're in a space fight and you realize you're gonna lose and you're close to the planet you just left, that you're not allowed to just go back into the planet you're in. The game will literally stop you, so you end up just dying in space anyways. And dying, like, if this isn't the first review you watched, every reviewer has mentioned this, dying has no consequence. You die, and then there's a death location for you to go pick up your stuff, and that's it. You know, it's not like, oh, I died, now I lost everything. Like, it's not like Dark Souls or Bloodborne where you die and you lose all your souls or echoes. And, you know, when you want to go back to get them, you have to go through all that onslaught of constant shit to get your souls or echoes back. In this, if someone shoots you down or if a sentinel kills you or whatever, you just gotta go back to that area where you died and pick it up. And chances are, whatever killed you isn't even there anymore. So your stuff is literally just there, and you just pick it up and go on your way. There's no consequence for dying. Really and truly, there's none. And even if there was, all the resources you need are so bountiful that in the case that you couldn't get yourself back, it's the resources are everywhere. Leave the planet and go find it, or go back to the space station. If you have enough units, you can go back to the space station and buy that shit back, depending on the prices there. You know, there's no real consequences for dying in this game. It's not a bad game. It's a ungraceful game. You know, what Sean Murray and the developers at Hello Games wanted this game to be, it is not that at all. From what we've seen at E3 to all the other little, you know, gameplay spots and stuff that we saw, it is not what we got. And I think that's the major problem that a lot of people are having with this game. The fact that they're paying a full $60 or $80 or $90 for this game, depending on where you live, and you didn't exactly get what you wanted. You know, on day one when this game came out, apparently two players actually did find each other. But the thing is, Sean Murray is so, you know, in his ways, saying, oh, this game's not a multiplayer game. It's like the chances you're going to find anyone else in this game are practically zero. You know, I get that this game is massive. Again, 18 quintillion planets. But, you know, how's this game single player if on day one, two players actually did come across each other, you know, reportedly? And at the same time, it's like, we're not even 100% sure if we're coming across other players because there's no indication. Like, there's no player, like, I haven't seen it yet, so I could be completely wrong, but there's no, like, player avatars that show, or I don't see, like, our online IDs or anything like that. It's just all really up in the air with what Sean Murray's talking about, you know. Can this game benefit from multiplayer and co-op? I definitely think so, you know. It can make exploring planets that much more fun if you're playing with your friends or at least other players, you know? I've been playing for about, again, like maybe 10 hours, and I'm in, I guess, the Elucid Galaxy, I believe it's called. I've seen a lot of other gamers start the game in the same galaxy I'm in, but the problem is I'll never know if I've seen them or come across them. Yeah, I can see if they discovered a planet that I haven't been on before, and they can definitely see me discovering my planets and naming them and whatnot, and that's all very cool. But at the end of the day, why not go that extra mile and actually let's interact with other players, let us trade with other players, let us do these things with other players rather than just, oh yeah, no, this game's strictly single player, or oh yeah, no, the chances of seeing other players are close to zero. How is it close to zero when it happened on day one of the game's launch? And they've been working on this game for 5 years. It's coming back down to, like, what is really going on with development of games. Like, I understand Hello Games is a small development team, again, like around 15 people working around the clock to bring us No Man's Sky. But this does not reflect 5 years. I'm sorry to say it, but this is how, like, the game is decent, but it doesn't reflect 5 years. Because what we saw at E3, what we saw during their game spots is not what we've got. And that's what it comes back down to for a lot of people. This isn't what we've gotten. Sales in Europe, at least for physical copies of the game, are down 81%, according to Eurogamer.com or a few other gaming sites. You know, 81%? That is asinine. I've never seen a game sale go down so quick after first couple of weeks of launch. I've never seen that. 81%. That's not accounting for digital downloads, but when 81% of your physical sales have gone down, that's kind of, it speaks volumes to gamers and to developers and, like, just to everyone, really and truly. It's saying that what you promised was not delivered. Yeah, you promised a expansive universe to see and explore. Yeah, you promised that the game was gonna be like this amazing experience. But if you can't be promising things that you cannot deliver on, I'm telling you, I honestly believe within 10 hours or 20 or 50, even 100, everyone's gonna have the same opinion that you're basically doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again from the first minute you start the game, from the first minute that you're placed on your first planet. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but for a full price game, I expected a lot more than just mining from minerals and elements over and over again and just going from different planet to planet. Again, there is an underlying story, but it's not like in your face. And I'm not sure, like, for me, I feel like that sort of works in my favor because then I can just explore. And that's what, like, again, I keep saying it over again, that's what I feel is this game's strong suit, is the fact that you can just explore. But for a full price game, if I want to explore, I play fucking Minecraft. If I want to mine shit over and over again and, like, harvest elements and materials so I can craft better shit, I fucking play Minecraft. I play Minecraft, I'm sorry. Because at least then, I'm not paying full price for that, you know? I play Minecraft. And at least in Minecraft, I'm pretty sure there's better player-to-player interaction than there is in No Man's Sky. At least the developers of Minecraft had a vision and stuck with it. And I understand budget might have been an issue with No Man's Sky, especially since they're saying DLC isn't gonna be free anymore. I get it, but there's ways to carry yourself and your game to where you want it to be and where you want it to go. And, like, this was the indie game to change the face of gaming in general. Like, this game had so much promise. The fact that there is so many planets and it's all procedurally generated, and there's so much, like, technicality put into No Man's Sky. It's something we haven't really seen before. The concept behind it is so cool. It was so cool. It's just poor execution. You know, that's what comes down to. That, like, the consensus, the general consensus of No Man's Sky is poor execution. And I'm sorry that I couldn't even bring gameplay because of that poor execution. I wanted to go and just show some of the different planets that I've been to and I've seen while talking about it and discussing this game, but I can't even do that because of a glitch that shouldn't even be in this game. You know, I could be so lenient to it if the game was $20 or $30, $40 the most, but it's not. You know, you got, I live in Canada. Gaming is hella expensive in Canada. Like, that's, like, the fact that I said hella, it's pretty bad in Canada. $79.99 for a brand new game. If you digitally download it, you're paying $80. If you buy it physically with our tax, you're paying easily close to $90. You know, like, you're basically paying $100 for one game. You know, and for some gamers, that's absolutely worth it. You know, like, oh yeah, like, gaming's my hobby, it's my life. Like, for some YouTubers who do this for a living, that's probably, you know, $60 US or, you know, $80 Canadian. Completely, that's like chump change at that point for them. But for the average gamer like myself, like Lucid, like anyone else, when you're paying $80 digitally for your game, like, you gotta have the technical prowess behind your development team, and, like, not the promises, but the motivation to deliver on those promises. Like, you can't say, oh, my game is gonna have this and that, and it's gonna look like this, and show off like this colorful and vibrant world filled with life. I remember the first No Man's Sky video I saw. There was like a giant ass dinosaur thing, and like little creatures running around and like all this little cool stuff, and I've yet to see that in my game. Maybe when I reach like that 20-hour or 50-hour mark that other reviewers are talking about, maybe I'll see it then. But as of right now, I have not seen that, and that's something that, in my eyes, was a promise that was not delivered upon. And something else I actually found out reading into the game was those worlds that Sean Murray was demoing during E3 and like all his little like game spots and whatever, those worlds weren't even randomly generated. No, those worlds were generated specifically for those events. So what we were seeing, it was kind of like when Ubisoft pulled that Watch Dogs shit back in 2013, 2014, where Watch Dogs looked amazing at the E3 conference, but then when we got the game, it was like, really? This is the game? Like, this, like, really? And the part that, like, you know, irks me is how during the whole entire interview, you know, you see Sean Murray smiling and talking about the game like it's his baby. It is his baby, but going on about how, oh, the world is randomly generated, when he knows and his whole development team knows that world he's demoing was created just for that event. And I feel like it goes back down to what was the 5 years for, you know? I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna end it here because I'm rambling and going in circles, and without any gameplay footage to show you, you know, this review became a bust. I could have stopped it, you know, as soon as I loaded up the game and saw that I was still stuck under the planet. But it thanks to that, I think I was able to give my honest opinion on No Man's Sky. Is it a bad game? No. But should you run out there and spend your $60 or $80 on the game right now? Definitely not. I don't think the way the game is right now, the way that it was released to us at this moment in time, it is not worth a full price game. There is a lot of game here. There's a lot to explore and see, you know, but it doesn't justify a full price point right now, seeing as this game is more or less broken and it needs more content. It definitely needs more content. Does that mean paid DLC? Most likely. Am I going to pay for that DLC? Not unless it brings massive content and change to this game. Because as of right now, again, if you're looking for a game to really, you know, wow your senses and make you go, holy shit, this is definitely worth my time and money, this game isn't it. It's not. If you go into it with no expectations, it's decent, like I said, and I do enjoy the exploration. But again, if you want to explore and craft shit and mine shit for hours, there's Minecraft. Anyways, guys, this is Asch the Fall, signing off. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, a like, or dislike if you didn't like it, and leave a comment in the comment section below. I'll be sure to check those out. Later, guys.